Well, hello there. Uh, uh, it's been just a little while. And so we're playing we're playing some Chaos Head. Yeah! Okay. Now I gotta get little. Where am I? Here I am. Little! Uh-oh! Don't wanna get too little. What am I doing? Okay. Press any button. Ding. I always forget how to... I always forget how to do this part. Yes. Wait, of course you would hit start. Oh my gosh. What? No! This isn't where I was at. This is the beginning. Load. I got pea brain. Help! Return the title. Yeah! Pea brain! That's why I'm green. I'm green like peas. No! I can't! Oh my god! I just want to start. Let me out! Turn the title. Oh my goodness. Pea brain. Continue. Oh my god. Oh my... Wait. No. Load? Yes. We're on chapter 2. Why are my eyes closed a bunch? Do I need to turn more lights on? Probably. Beep beep. Anyone on the field trip? Hold on. I gotta get out of the way. I'll be in the picture that he's drawing. Wow, you drew me. Anyone going on the field trip? What? I'm very bad at reading. I'm sorry, but I want to play the game anyway. Though I'm bad at reading. Anybody going on the field trip? Get on. Oh, okay. Takumi Nishijo lay on the tatami mat, a coloring pencil in his hand. This time it was yellow. Just a few minutes ago it had been red. He was happily scribbling with his pencil across the whole of his open sketchbook. Takumi liked to draw. Even during class, he was always scribbling something in the corner of his notebook. The TV was turned on, showing the morning news. For a fourth grader like him, though, the news was boring. He didn't look at it at all. Beep beep, can you bring me more than 300 yen for snacks? He was drawing a yellow bus and pretending he was the bus driver. The bus is full, so off we go. Whoosh! He envisioned the scene in his head as he put it onto the page. This wasn't uncommon for him to get too excited. It wasn't uncommon for him to get too excited and let his pencil go off the sketchbook and onto the tatami mat. Whenever that happened, his little sister Nanami would yell, "Hey! Don't mess up the mat!" She was a little brat, and he didn't care. He kept drawing anyway. Ooh, should I sit on the couch? I just had that idea. When it came time to draw the passenger on the bus, he suddenly stopped. And then he ripped the sketchbook up. Yesterday, the day before he was supposed to go on the class's fall field trip, he'd suddenly been told by his parents that he couldn't go. He'd been looking forward to it for a long time. He'd been excited the whole day. So when his parents told him, he refused to accept it. Oh, here comes my cat. She's looking at me. Meow! What are you doing? He cried and said he was going to go no matter what, but it didn't matter. No matter what he said, his parents wouldn't listen. "We're saying this for your own sake. It's impossible for you." That's all they would say. So he hid under the covers and got mad. So mad he might tear his blanket apart. He hated his parents from the bottom of his heart. That's how important, how critical the field trip was to little 4th grade Takumi. Everybody else got to go, and he didn't. For his perspective, it was totally unfair. In his mind, there were 2 worlds. A lonely world where he was the only resident, and a fun world where he got to go, where everyone else got to be. He hated his teacher and his classmates for going without him. Yeah. And he hated his parents for telling him he couldn't go. It wasn't long before that hatred boiled over. He bit his lips so hard it drew blood and began to mutter a curse over and over. I wish nobody got to go. The next morning, the phone started ringing really early. His mom would pick it up and answer it, seemingly shaken by something. She'd set it down, and a little later, it would ring again. Takumi couldn't sleep at all. It was past 9 a.m. Nanami was sitting on the cushion reading manga. She'd said, "I'll stay home from school with you." "I'll stay home from school with you," the day before, and so there she was. His dad had gone into work and there was nowhere to be seen. His mom was so busy answering the phone that she hadn't made breakfast. Today he didn't need to go to school. Glumly, he began to draw his sketchbook. But it did nothing to help assuage his anger. And just when he'd ripped it up in frustration, there was a note of worry in Nanami's voice. He thought she was talking about his picture, but her eyes were glued to the TV set. Suddenly, she called out for their mom, who was still talking on the phone. Takumi looked distinctively over at the TV. It was showing a collapsed bridge on the highway. Only a small 50-meter section of the bridge had collapsed. A bus had been traveling right over the bridge at the time and fallen through the hole. It was the bus Takumi was supposed to have been on. It was the one his classmates were all on. In a single instant, in a single instant, Takumi was able to envision almost everything that had happened. His classmates were all there. Some were crying, some had faces covered in blood, and one was being carried off in a stretcher. A reporter was explaining the accident with a stern expression on his face, but Takumi couldn't understand what he was talking about. His mom was standing in the room's doorway, holding the phone in her hand and looking deathly pale. Oh, dead? For some reason, Takumi was sure of it. Because everything he was seeing on the TV was just like the scene he'd envisioned last night in his frustration and anger. In his mind, there was only a single thought, a strange sentiary that he had the ability to see the future. He remembered a TV program he'd seen years ago about whether psychic powers were real or not. There was a psychic on the show who could see the future and put their powers to incredible use during the test the show had given. At the time, it was a huge deal. In the test, 12 items were put into 12 boxes, numbered 1 to 12, and they had to guess which one he put in which. The psychic would be in another room before anything happened, and make their guesses there. Afterward, the show's staff would put the items into the box, and the results would be checked. Astonishingly, the psychic was 90% accurate, amazing the rest of the cast. Takumi had been Takumi had been watching the show, and he'd made his own predictions as well. Every single one was right, of course. He'd never told anybody this. But that's why now he thought that he'd foretold the crash unfolding on the screen. Oh! His mother tried to reach down and pick him up, but he slid past her and crawled to the corner of the room. She whispered in a hollow voice, her gaze wandering around the room. Yes. Takumi felt like he was about to throw up. It was all rotten, he thought. What good was seeing the future? In that moment, he felt his heart turn cold. For a while, he didn't talk to anyone. He became completely silent. He didn't say a single word to a single person. His parents were already overprotective, but this only made it worse. He gradually started to find them ridiculous and began to keep up the silent act deliberately. That was his way of getting back at his parents, he thought. Ooh, I'm in the trees. Where should I go? Where should I go? I'll be on top of this thing. He was so quiet that they took him to a psychiatrist at a general hospital. He was diagnosed with PTSD. Of course, he didn't have PTSD. He never took the medicine they gave him. He just pretended to take it. I don't recommend doing that. I don't know. I'm not taking my medication. I'm putting them in the toilet. I'm flushing them down. The fishies can eat them. His parents never picked up on the act, and even when he saw how worried and miserable they looked, he didn't feel the slightest bit guilty. Whoa! No, too little. I'll be the character on his screen. Just like I'm the character on your screen. Boop, 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 boop. It all felt like a lie. The whole world is filled with fiction. It was filled with evil. Evil that was out to get me.
いつもあなたが使っているチャットルームへログインして自分で調べてみてください。私の言っていることが間違っていないってわかるはずです。それと
And what? Like the...
私が言ったことは全部本心です。これだけは信じて。
After the bizarre... After the bizarre speech, she added that last sentence and then left. Of course I couldn't believe her. How could I believe her when she'd lied to me? That everything I was that she'd shown was something I refused to accept no matter what. I wanted to believe there was no way I could be Shogun. But from the timestamps on the chat log, it was clear that the conversation didn't make sense. Was I sleepwalking? I kinda sleepwalk. I get it. At the time that Shogun had sent these messages, I hadn't been asleep. I'd been at cafe, sure, but I hadn't been asleep. I couldn't have been sleepwalking. Then why didn't I have any memories at all of writing these comments as Shogun? Was my body under somebody else's control? The very idea was ridiculous. I decided what I needed to escape from. I decided what I needed to escape from all the lies. Some good ESO, my other fictional world. In ESO, everything was a lie. It was just a game after all. But in a Beast Lord, I could be Nightheart, a godlike being. Wow. If only the lies and fictions could be like this, I could accept that reality. I wanted to be here forever. What's wrong with that? Or maybe Issa's world was the real one, and this one was the fake. This one was the game. Nanami Nishijo was just a fictional character, and my true identity was Nightheart.
ねえ、ナイトハルト。
I called out to the paladin on the screen. Am I controlling you, or are you controlling me? Are you the real person, and I'm the avatar? What if the world I'm in is a game? If that was the case, it would explain everything. If somebody was staring at me right now, just like how I was staring at Nightheart. Whose eyes are those? The answer to that question would be the player controlling me. If that was the case, then I wish they'd stop sucking at the game so much. But an avatar doesn't get to complain. It would explain how Shogun and I could be the same person. It was like with Lisa. I'm sorry. Lisa-Let? Lisa-Let and Nightheart couldn't exist in a Baselard at the same time. They both had the same player. Me! Maybe in the same way Takumi Nishijo and Shogun couldn't both exist in the same world at the same time. Or maybe it was like a bug. Speaking of bugs, maybe these strange women appearing and murdering cases were all bugs too. Oh! The images Shogun sent to me flashed through my mind, and I winced. I shook my head desperately. I wanted to run away from everything. If there was a player controlling me, then please, reset the game. Just start over from character creation. Oh. I'm gonna be one of the people in the waiting room. I'm gonna be back here. Yeah, I'm waiting. For something, I don't know. The waiting room at the university hospital was filled to overflowing with old people waiting for their exams. Nothing had changed since I'd first come here several years ago. It was as if time itself had stopped. Everyone wore a gloomy expression between that and the stench of disinfectant. The air was heavy and stale. 5 minutes in this room was enough to make you want to kill yourself. I didn't like hospitals. The lobbies were filled with people, but once you went down a hallway, it felt like you were completely alone. They'd always really scared me. It felt like the hallways were full of the stench of death. It always seemed to me that death was the true face of a hospital, and if you went further down the hallways, you'd find even more terrifying, awful secrets. Secret, Mr. Robato's there. And turn the corner and you see Mr. Roboto. Secret, I've got a secret. So, to tell the truth, I didn't want to come. I didn't want to come, but there was something I had to know, and so I had no choice but to sit here, waiting for my exam. Even while I was playing ESO, the world's Yuna had said kept spinning. And the world's Yua had said it kept spinning the words. Oh my gosh! That makes more sense. The words Yua had said spinning through my mind, and I couldn't concentrate at all. I ended up staying awake all night, imagining all kinds of terrible things, and started to get really scared of there being something wrong with me. At last, I decided to go to the hospital so I could get a doctor to tell me that I was completely normal. I wanted to prove that Yua was the crazy one, not me. I was used to coming to the psychic ward of this hospital when the lady at the front desk had asked me if it was my first time here. I nodded without thinking, but it wasn't my first time at all. Ever since the bus accident, my parents have been taking me here on a regular basis. When I got to the middle school, my doctor told me I was completely cured, and I stopped going. It'd been about 4.5 years since I'd last come here. Whoa! Whoa! Hey, who's that guy? Who's that guy back there? Hold on. Hold on. Who's this guy? That's not a doctor. Who's that guy? What's he doing here? Okay. I don't know who that guy is. The first doctor to look at me was an old man who was supposedly an authority in his field. But he'd only talked to me the first few times before handing me off to one of his students. No, that's not a student. That's some guy over there. Of course his student wasn't that much younger either. If anything, he looked older than the first one. That doctor, Dr. I'm sorry. Takashina? Dr. Takashina had said something to me that I'd remembered last night.
ここは病気や怪我だけじゃなくて心にも効く病院なんだよ。
It didn't... I didn't like the hospital, but he was really nice, and he seemed like a really good guy. I could kiss him if it weren't unprofessional. Just kidding. Not that he had hold on, I'm gonna take a drink. Not that this had stopped me. It kept me up. Why is this hard? Not that this had stopped me. It kept me up my act of deceiving the adults. Oh wait, I kept up my act of deceiving the adults. It was Dr. Takashina who had seen through my deception, though, and had given me an official diagnosis of completely cured.
あの人に調べてもらえれば。
What would he say if he knew I'd grown up to be a creepy otaku? No, he probably didn't even remember me. I waited another 3 hours before they finally called my name. Ooh, a chair! I'm gonna go sit in it! Sitting in a chair, sitting in a chair. It was a different exam room than the one I'd been seen in 4 years ago. But I was welcomed by a face I recognized. He was a very image of trustworthy older man. Trustworthy older man. He looked older than me, and he probably was, but he had a kind expression, and that kindness came across in his mannerisms and way of talking. He hadn't changed at all in the 4 years since I'd last seen him. I wonder if he'd even aged at all. Not that I was even sure how old he was. The desire to beg him for help grew stronger and stronger within me. He was somebody I could count on. He was somebody who would save me. I was so happy to see him again. Until I heard the first thing he said.
今日はどうしました?
I don't know what brings me here, actually. It's a good question. His voice was soft and gentle, and put you at ease, but there wasn't that sense of friendliness I'd seen when I came here before. It was like he was talking to me for the first time. I couldn't handle it, so I decided to remind him.
西条です。
ん? Oh, これはご丁寧に。
Oh!
高階です。はじめまして。
Oh, Takashi. Oh. I forgot to listen to him say his name so I could say it right. He bowed to me. I couldn't say anything. Nice to meet you. That's what he had to say. That's what he had just said. He'd forgotten me. It made sense. I hadn't been there for 4 years after all. But I thought that he of all people would remember me. I kind of had that hope, whether it was fair or not. When that hope was shattered, it just made me sadder. It felt like I didn't even matter. He looked in my eyes and he spoke, but I looked away.
無遊病かどうか調べてほしいと書いてあるが、何かあったのかな?
Yes. So I sleepwalked to an internet cafe, and I talk to myself. And then I come back to my house, and then I wake up, and I answer, and then I fall asleep again, and then I walk back to that cafe, and then I answer myself. So yeah. That's right. That's what I'd said on the form, but it didn't matter now. If he didn't even remember me.
別にいいじゃん。
Yeah, you're right.
先生が覚えてようが覚えてなかろうが関係ないっしょ。最初の目的を忘れちゃダメ。
Yes. Oh, right. I hadn't come here to see Dr. Takashina. I'd come to prove that I was normal. Seeing him again was just a bonus. Got something you want to tell him? Just kidding, just kidding. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, definitely just kidding. I just thought about what I said. Okay. What? Because he's a high schooler, and that's like a doctor. Yeah. What did it matter if he forgot me? Sariatan? Wait. If Sariatan... I'm not too sure if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry. If Sariatan hadn't reminded me, I might have broken down right there. Phew!
自分でも知らないうちに外に出かけててパソコンで文章打っててそれを全く覚えてないなんてありえますか？
おお。
Oh.
知り合いからそう指摘されて混乱しちゃって。
その知り合いの人が冗談を言っているっていう可能性はあると思うかい？
No. They said it in a really scary way. Take me seriously. I know, right? Yua's eyes had been dead serious. She didn't look like she was joking. She didn't look like she was teasing me or anything. If nothing else, she certainly seemed to believe that she was... what she was saying.
わかりません。
なるほど。ちなみに、その知り合いとはどういう関係だろう？恋人？
Why'd you assume that?
はあ
What was this guy talking about? What did that have to do with anything?
いや、言い方が悪かったかな。じゃあ言い直そう。
Yeah, try again. Try again.
その知り合いの人は、君が意識もないまま歩き回っているのを実際に目撃したのかな？
Oh, okay, that's why you asked, like, girlfriend or whatever. Why didn't he ask, like, sibling or something? I don't know. Oh, was that what he meant? I shook my head.
じゃあ、証拠はないわけだ。
I shook my head again.
そいつ探偵気取りっていろいろ証拠を突きつけてきて。
うん、そういうことか。
Dang it. Lunch is... It's almost lunch. I kind of want to go to lunch. Let's wrap this up. Just kidding. I was talking for the doctor.
ちなみに、これまでにも無遊病の兆候はあったかい？
いえ。
朝目覚めたらいつものベッドじゃなくて違う場所で寝てたっていうことは過去に一度でもあった？
いえ。
じゃあその知り合いに言われたのが初めてっていうことだね。
Mm-hmm. I nodded weakly before forcing myself to speak.
僕、寝てないんです。
もしかして怖いのかな？でもそんなに深刻になる必要はないよ。
How do you know?
いや、
You don't even remember me? That wasn't it. That wasn't what I wanted to say. But I wasn't sure how to explain it, and couldn't get my thoughts together in my head. I lost my chance to speak. I know, right, man? I'm like that, I get that. He scribbled something in his chart before spinning around to turn away from me, and then I leaned forward toward the back of the exam room.
葉月くん、ちょっと。
はい。
A young nurse came over. The doctor showed me, the doctor showed me, oh my god, I did it again. The doctor showed her my chart and said something softly to her, and then she quickly went back to further back. Oh my god. And then she quickly went back further into the room. What was this about? He turned to face me again. Then, in a gentle tone, he explained to me what sleepwalking was, as if I didn't know what it was. When someone falls asleep, he said, first they enter REM sleep, and then non-REM sleep. REM sleep is when the body was asleep, but the brain was close to fully awake. Non-REM sleep was a deeper sleep, when the brain also rested.
無遊病はノンレム睡眠の時に起きやすいって言われてる。脳が通常の活動をしていないから、普通の受け答えとかは成立しにくいけど、ちゃんと返事もするし、階段などを踏み外さずに上り下りすることだってできる。
Yes.
原因としては、精神的なストレスを抱えてる時になりやすいんだ。子供に多い症状だけど、成人でもよくある症状なんだよ。これでわかっただろ？深刻になることはないって言った意味が。
I don't know. Oh, I heard my kitty. I don't know if you can hear her, but she's meowing. I sleepwalk. Pretty much everyone in my family sleepwalks and talks. I look silly when I drink water. This isn't water! I always do this. I always lie about... It's an accidental lie. No, it's mocha. Mocha! But no, yeah, I sleepwalk. I wake up with bruises all over my legs. Sometimes and then like I am glad that I have a loft bed, and I'm glad that I get off safely. That would be bad if I fell off from such a distance. Yes. I don't know why I said that. I guess it was just something I thought about that was on topic. But I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't sleeping, and yet I was still doing things I didn't remember. The whole time I'd been supposedly typing into the chat was as Shogun in room 37, I thought I'd been playing ESO. Was that what you'd call sleepwalking? I wanted to ask, but the doctor just kept talking.
無遊病かどうかを調べる方法としてはいくつかある。一番手っ取り早いのはここのベッドで寝てもらうことだね。
Oh, so I go to bedtime right now. I go Betty bye right now, and then you watch, see if I get up.
ただ、特定条件じゃないと発生しない場合もあるかもしれない。例えば、自分のベッドじゃないとダメとか。
So you're gonna go to my house and watch me sleep? Just kidding.
意識がない状態で出歩くにしても、目的もなくふらふらと歩き続けるのか。それとも何らかの脅迫観念があって、それに影響されて何らかの一連の目的を持って出歩いているのか。それに君の精神状態についても特定の条件下じゃないとダメかもしれない。自宅のベッドの上ならリラックスできるけど、ここじゃリラックスのしようがないわけだ。
Yes.
どうする？とりあえず寝ていってみるかい？
Yes, right here, right now. Take a nap. Just kidding. It wouldn't hurt to try. I could make sure I wasn't sleepwalking and then ask him the question I'd come to ask. Whoa. They take a picture of a real hospital for here. The nurse Hazuki led me to... hold on. The nurse Hazuki led me to a bed in the back. It wasn't meant for sleeping, so it was hard and uncomfortable. Still, it was better than the sofa I used to sleep on. Like Agent Fox Mulder. Although Mulder has a bed. But he sleeps on the couch anyway. For fun, I guess.
3時間くらいしたら起こしに来ますから。
3 hours, huh? The nurse was really cute. I lay on the bed, glancing at her while trying to make sure our eyes didn't meet. She had a somewhat young, hopeless-looking face. Oh, helpless. I was like, helpless-looking face. And the air of someone whose life wasn't really working out the way they wanted it to. Still, she went about her work quickly and steadily. She felt like one of those girls from an old age game, one set on a hospital with lots of,
できるだけ目は離さないようにしていますので、安心して眠ってくださいね。
In other words, she'd be watching me to make sure I didn't get up and start walking around.
それでは、ごゆっくり。
I like that. She smiled a little bit before closing the curtains and leaving. Surrounded by white curtains, I let out a deep breath. I could hear lots of things, the voices of doctors as he examined his patients, the other nurses walking around, even the door as it opened and closed. It was pretty hard to relax. Could I really sleep like this? Oh, yes I could. I tried to close my eyes. I tried to close my eyes just to see if it would work. The second I did, the Guro images that Shogun sent and the sight of the corpse nailed to the wall came flooding back to me. I know, right? I forced myself to think of Seriatan instead. La la.
タッキー、外出嫌いなのに病院来るなんてすごい。
It is amazing.
私前から思ってたんだけどさ、タッキーって実はすごく強い男の子だよね。
Really? Inside my delusions, she was happily bouncing up and down. Next, she whispered to me in a sweet voice.
私、そんなタッキーの強さが好き。それに、タッキーは無遊病なんかじゃないよ。私、毎日タッキーのこと見てるもん。だからわかるさ。
You do know.
三次元女になんか騙されちゃダメだぞ。タッキーは 私がいるっしょ。
Yes,
また
you're right.
コンテナハウスで二人きりで過ごそうね。オケナス。
Syria was. You're so cute. Syria was my ideal wife after all. No girl could ever be better than her. 3D? Who cares about 3D? I couldn't wait to go home. Syria would be waiting for me with a big smile and a welcome home. Just wait, Syria 10. I'll be coming home for you. Oh wait, yeah.
西条さん、起きてください。時間ですよ。
3 hours already? Syria 10 softly put a hand on my chest and gently shook me awake. I always dreamed this day would come. The day when Syria 10 and I would live together. Every day she'd wake me up wearing nothing but an apron, and she'd give me a good morning kiss.
西条さん。
I slowly opened my eyes. Alas, it was a dream. Somebody was looking down at me, our eyes locked onto each other. It was the nurse Hazuki. I quickly looked around. I was still in a hospital bed? I guess the part where Syria 10 was talking to me was just a dream. Aw, man.
おはようございます。結局3時間ぐっすりでしたね。
Whoa! It's been 3 hours already? It felt like it had only been 5 minutes. Also, as I rubbed my eyes, Hazuki glanced at me. She was covering her hand with her mouth, seemingly on the verge of bursting out laughing.
セイラさんって彼女さん？
Don't laugh at me!
ずっと寝言でつぶやいていましたから。
Well, what do I say? I could feel the blood draining from my face. I'd screwed up big time. I'd let a normal person hear me talking in my sleep. And I'd only been saying Syria 10's name of all things. Time to kill herself.
でも無遊病の症状は結局出ませんでしたよ。
As she spoke, she opened the curtains.
まあ今日はたまたま症状が出なかっただけかもしれないから無遊病でないっていう断定はできないですけど。
Yes, I'll come back tomorrow? No, I'm not a sleepwalker. I need to ask the question I came here for. But I didn't see the doctor. Hazuki offered me a sheet of paper. I looked at it. There were various questions for me to answer.
それはあなたの心理状態を把握するためのチェックシートです。心理テストのようなものね。それを書いてくれたら今日はもう帰っていいって先生が。
First question, what's your favorite color? Second question, what's your second favorite color? Third question, what do you like to eat for dinner?
先生は
No, the doctor went home to take a nap. And he won't be back tomorrow because he'll still be taking a nap.
ごめんなさい。ずっと診察が続いてて。
Oh, I was wrong. My prediction was wrong.
来週まで様子を見て、まだ改善が見られないようならもう一度来てくださいって。
To be fair. He wasn't my personal physician or anything like that. He'd probably just given Hazuki, his nurse, instructions for me. But then, what was the point of even coming to the hospital? I wanted to ask about the awful possibility that I was being controlled by somebody who wasn't me. But Hazuki looked so apologetic that I couldn't have the courage to demand to see the doctor. I decided to just fill out the worksheet she'd given me. I'd write out the symptoms I was experiencing. On the back, I decided. Then I could come back next week to talk to him again.
チェックシートは質問に対してイエスかノーかだけを答える簡単なものですから、当てはまる点があったらイエスにチェックしてくださいね。
But what if it's opposite day? Just kidding.
今後の西條さんの治療に対する参考にしますから、じっくり考えて答えてください。
Hazuki was kind enough to give me a full explanation. Some of these questions on the test were weird. Not the sort of things you'd expect to be asked at a hospital. Let's see, what's the silly thing? What's a silly thing to ask? Well, I can't think of anything. It was almost like one of those online personality quizzes. What would answering these questions tell them? Hazuki was staring at me. She wasn't getting ready to leave. It didn't seem like she just had nothing better to do. She was observing me, not watching over me. Being watched made me nervous, and so it was hard to think about the questions, but I suppose that was just a nurse's job. I decided to just forget it and fill out the sheet. When you need to talk to someone, do you prefer to text instead of call? Yes. Oh, I'm filling out the sheet! Oh my gosh! Okay, I'm gonna go down here. I'm filling out the sheet! Oh my gosh! That's so cool! Do you sometimes have tinnitus? Wait, is that how it's said? I almost read it as tetanus. Do you sometimes have tetanus? No. Have you ever felt someone's eyes on you and turned around? Yes. Do stationary objects sometimes seem to be moving toward you? Let me think. Am I filling this out as, like, myself or as, oh my gosh, I forgot his name. As the character I'm playing in the game? I'm gonna fill that out as myself. No. Have you ever had a premonition that turned out to be right? Yes. Oh, wait, am I supposed to be... Wait. I don't know how much this question thing matters. I guess we'll find out. Have you ever checked a digital clock and seen the same numbers repeat? Have you ever cried within the last month? Yes. Can you masturbate just using your imagination? Can you stay focused on just one mental image when masturbating? I don't know. Can you fantasize about someone within? Yeah, what kind of questions are these? He's right. These are weird questions to ask at a hospital. Okay. Fantasize about something with your eyes open. Does the front of an automobile ever look like a face? Yes. Do you have difficulty going to the bathroom after watching a horror movie? No. Not a fan of haunted houses? I'd probably go to one. I'd be really scared, but I'd go to one. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Oh! Are they talking about, like, the fake haunted houses? I like those. When you start reading a book, do you lose track of time and immerse yourself? Sometimes. Do you think aliens are real? Yes. When you look at your horoscope, is it always right? I don't look at my horoscope, ever. So I don't know. Do you get motion sickness easily? No, only in VR. Huh. Do you think God exists? Do you have a sixth sense? These... Yeah, wait... Is this at a hospital? When you sleep, do you dream in full color? When are you asleep? Do you ever understand that you are dreaming? Sometimes. Have you... Have you... Oh, have you experienced partial memory loss? Do you have trouble making eye contact with others? Yes. Does the sight of a lemon make your mouth full of saliva? A lemon? When other people yawn, do you yawn too? Yeah. Nozomi.
はい、お疲れ様でした。
You're welcome. Alright, I'm gonna move. When I checked the last few questions, Hazuki spoke to me before I had a chance to say anything to her. I'd been really embarrassed having her watch me the whole time. Maybe my face had been red? I quietly handed over the worksheet, trying not to look at her face. I hadn't had time to write my symptoms on the back.
それでは待合室でお待ちください。お薬が出てますから。
For what?
薬?
I was getting some kind of prescription? The doctor hadn't said a word about that.
ええ、先生の指示で。弱い精神安定剤です。ぐっすり眠れるようになるし、副作用などもありませんよ。
Oh, okay. Woohoo! Thanks, Doc. I was appreciative, but also the thought of waiting in that lobby again made me feel miserable. Value of death. Life is suffering caused by a disease. To end the suffering, we must end desire. Oh, it's a movie. I'd watch that movie. I wonder if that's a real movie or if that's just for the game. Yeah. By the time I got back to Shibuya, it was evening. The hospital itself was in Shibuya Ward, but the closest station was Yogi? No, that's not right. Yo... Yo-yo guy? Taking the train was the fastest way to get there and back. The I'm sorry. The Yamanote line was Yamamate line was crowded as ever, though through and riding just 2 stations was enough to make me feel exhausted. I didn't think I was up for getting another for getting on another train, so I decided to walk from Shibuya Station to the base. There was just too many people at the station. I hated crowds. They always made me feel like I was going to pass out. I didn't want to spend any more time there than I had to, so I quickly tried to get across, scrambling across. The area was so packed, it was hard to even walk in a straight line. If you didn't keep a steady forward face, you'd run into people walking beside you or get hit from behind. There was also people blocking your path, trying to hand you packs of tissues with ads on them. They'd even force them into your pocket. You will take these tissues. I ignored the first one, but the second one was a cute lady, so I took some from her. These tissue people were just the worst. They wouldn't have been allowed to stand in the middle of the sidewalk like that had I took the tissue. What? They shouldn't have been allowed to stand in the middle of the sidewalk like that. I took the tissues anyway, though, since they were free. I looked at the tissues I'd been given. This pack came with a small flyer with white text on a red background. It was a pretty weird color combination, kind of spooky. It wasn't a combination that you often had much, I was sure of. I read the flyer as I walked along. There is a shortage of type B blood. There is currently a serious shortage of type B blood in Shibuya. We are no longer able to deliver blood to all the patients that need it, and people may die. With your blood donation, he will not survive. Please come to... I can't read because there's other words over it. It was a flyer for blood donation service. As I looked at it, I thought back to the worksheet I'd been given at the hospital. I hadn't seen anything like it when I'd gone there 4 years ago. Maybe it was some new kind of diagnostic that had only gotten popular over the last few years. Excuse me. But still, I felt like I'd seen it before. Deja vu again. It felt like that was happening all the time lately. It was really creepy when your body and mind refused to do what you wanted them to. So I tried to dig through my memories to find out what was going on with this deja vu. My mother used to take me to the hospital about once a week. No matter what they asked, I'd never respond. I'd just move my head up and down or side to side. At first, they saw me in a normal exam room, but when I showed no signs of recovery, they started sending me someplace different. The other place was some kind of counseling room. It had a sofa and lots of stuffed animals and seemed to have been decorated with the aim of putting the patient at ease. Dr. Takashina never blamed anybody. He just kept trying to make me better. He was the only one who figured out that I could speak, but just didn't want to say anything. My mother would always talk to me in a deliberate, chipper voice. Dr. Takashina would always welcome me with a bright smile. The nurses were always kind, too, and it felt to me like there'd always been somebody else in that room. Yeah, that guy! Right, he was always wearing a dark black suit. It was a weird outfit to see in a hospital. He was just as quiet as I was. I didn't think I'd ever heard him talk. I never did figure out who he was. He didn't feel like a doctor. He always just stood off to the side, looking out the window. I always called him Mr. Nozumi. He never actually given me his name, though.
Nozomi.
The man in the suit always wore a small badge. It read Nozomi. Hey, the company that I filled the, or I assume the company. Well, it's gotta be a company. Yeah, that's who made the questionnaire I filled out. Is that what that's called? A questionnaire? Or is it the worksheet I filled out? It read Nozomi. It looked like a logo, some kind to it. Probably wasn't a name tag. Yeah, the worksheet had the Nozomi logo on it too. No wonder I thought I'd seen it somewhere before. I felt a little better now that the mystery was solved. What was Nozomi, though? It was clearly the name of some kind of company.
のぞみさんっていう美人女社長が設立したカウンターテロ組織とか、漫画みたいだ。
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Home sweet home. When I got back to the base, I ran research for Nozomi, but it was just as a common word that meant wish in Japanese too, so there was too many results to narrow down. Thinking back, the logical assumption was that Mr. Nozomi worked for a company that made those worksheets and was a salesman that had been visiting the hospital. Sometime recently, he'd finally managed to sell the hospital on using his sheets, and today I'd been asked to fill one of them out. No, wait. That was impossible. I never heard of a salesman or somebody on the outside being allowed to sit in on a patient's session. Yeah. Just who was that guy? Crap. Now I have another nagging memory to deal with. At least I'd figured out where the deja vu was coming from. I decided that next week I would ask the doctor about my memories. Until then, I'd forget about school and just stay in my room. I couldn't go to school if there was somebody there trying to hurt me. I couldn't go to school if there was somebody there trying to hurt me. I didn't want to break my schedule, but it wouldn't do me any good if I was dead. That is true. I gave up on my search for Nozomi and went to @channel to see if there were any interesting threads. Name anonymous afternoon. It's a new generation madness, and I can't bear it. Group died, pregnant man crucified. To be continued. The news board was filled with nothing but new generation madness threads. Even the ESO board had a recurrent the new generation murder in ESO thread going. I was getting sick of it. When I logged into ESO, Grim was there. Atchen's new board had been boring as hell lately. It's all new gen crap. There's a new case. It's a big festival. Everybody goes crazy. That demon girl. Wait. Visions of dark eyes of the girl I'd seen during the crucifixion killing came back to me and I shivered. What am I see something. Oh, it's my cat. Oh my god. My cat spooked me. I didn't want to remember it at all, but the slightest little thing and the memories came flooding back. I'd seen the killer's face. I knew who she was. Should I have told the cops? But I didn't want to get involved. Okay. Demon girl? Is that the latest variation? That demon girl. Oh wait. I'm reading it, but... Anyway, New Gen is just fascinating stuff. Seriously? If that was true, then I wouldn't be able to keep up with this delusion in our chat channel. Oh my gosh, I need to pay attention. The only ones in the guild who aren't into it are you and Big Sis Geji. Just really... That crucified corpse was such a mess, I thought it was some kind of art piece for a minute. If you wanted to call it artwork, I guess you could. But don't tell me you're the kind of guy who wants to see art in his murders. I keep losing where it's at. It'd be better if... Oh my god. So you're telling me you're not a virgin? Once you lose your virginity, you'll understand. This guy's a goner. Somebody needs to do something about him. So you're telling me you're not a virgin once you... Oh, wait. Oh, my... Which way is it going? Ugh, I don't want to look at them. They scared me. I wanted to run away from the fact that I'd been at the murder scene. That's why I'd cut myself off from all information about New Gen. That was how I hoped I could convince myself that that it was all just a delusion. But in ESO, it was practically oh my god. In ESO, I was practically God. It wasn't meant it wasn't meant to be strong. I had to know everything. Especially since I was kind of a leader in the guild. If I was supposed to be the leader, but I couldn't even keep up with whatever everyone was talking about, it would just be embarrassing. I had to avoid that. I went to the address Grim gave me. The top banner read New Gen Agitator. Hello! Oh, I don't have chat up. I gotta get it up. Boop! Woohoo! How's it going? The top banner read New Gen Agitator in big letters. Agitator sites were a kind of wiki where any number of people could add information to articles about certain topic. A New Gen Agitator site would have information about New Gen constantly updated by different users. Some of that information wasn't good, and you? Oh, I'm doing good. That's good that you're good. Yay! Some of that information wasn't trustworthy in the slightest, and sometimes there were trolls. But if you wanted an easy way to get a handle on the basic facts of something, it was good. There were always tons of links, for one thing. I decided to start with an article called The Case So Far. My pulse started to quicken. Just reading the site was enough to make me nervous. I could feel the sweat forming on my hands. The first case, the one they called Group Dive, was when a group of 5 boys and girls from a high school had all jumped off a building. It happened on September 7th, about a month ago. It was in the middle of the night at a place called Shibuya Tower. The 5 had jumped off the building. Did we just start the game? No. It was I did a couple of streams of this before. This is chapter 2. I don't know how far in chapter 2 we are. But yeah. Corneals us? Corneals us? What's that mean? Corn. It happened on September 7th, about a month ago. It was in the middle of the night at a place called Shibuya Cornless Tower. The five had jumped off the building, and died instantly on impact. How to say the name of the tower? Oh my gosh! Thank you, Cornelius. Oh, Cornelius. Okay, yeah, thank you, Cornelius. Shibuya Cornelius Tower. The five had jumped off the building's helipad and died instantly on impact. The autopsy showed that each of them had DNA belonging to someone else under their nails, and there were scratch marks found too. Yes. Cornelius. Cornelius Tower. It was theorized from this that the five of them have jumped off while holding hands. There was no sign of any kind of suicide note left on the roof. Below the summary was some information added by some internet detective. These types were often referred to as snakes, who'd actually gone to Cornelius Tower. According to him, the roof was off limits to visitors, and the door, too, it was kept locked at all times. Of course, it was locked at all times. Of course, it was locked at the time of the jump, too. None of the deceased had a key on their bodies when they'd been found. This meant that the helipad was, in a way, a locked room. Like you saw in a murder mystery, there was nothing to suggest how the five of them had gotten up there. How'd they get up there? It wasn't entirely likely that someone else had been there as well. The second case, the pregnant man, had happened on September 19th, around 12 days after the first. Early in the morning, near a Shibuya Station underpass, college students were walking home from karaoke when they found a blood-stained man collapsed on the ground. The collapsed man was a university student who lived in Shibuya Ward named Chizo Kone, age 21. He was dead when he was found, but he had an unnatural bulge in his stomach. The autopsy showed that someone had opened up his chest, shoved a newborn baby into his stomach, and then sewn him back up. Ew. In addition, DNA analysis had shown that it was the maid with the candlestick. It was the maid with the candlestick. In addition, DNA analysis had shown there was no relationship between the baby and the man. He was, according to the reporters, unmarried and had no girlfriend. Died maidenless. Just kidding. The rest of it was internet speculation, but the baby appeared to be in the 32nd week of pregnancy, which would mean it was probably removed from the mother by C-section. Who the mother was, though, or where she was, or what she was doing, or even if she was alive or dead. None of that was known. It was possible that the cops knew, but if they did, they weren't tacking. Ugh. I looked away from the monitor, feeling like I was about to throw up, I know, right? This was disgusting. The killer was insane. I knew that for sure, and it was also possible. That girl had been behind the horrible murders. It's a possibility. Well, Japan's screwed. I took a moment to gaze at my beautiful Suri-tan. Looking at her helped me feel calm. I thought about taking the sedatives the doctor had given me, but now Suri-tan was good enough. You live like this, girl? the, Wait, which one? The anime one or the one I'm playing as? But I don't live like either of them. I sleep on a bed. I don't sleep on a couch. Still, though, I had to do it to keep up Nightheart's reputation as a leader. But reading these hurt. Messy room. Okay, yeah, it is a messy room. I do have a messy room. I will admit that. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay, she's got a point. Yes. I'm lagging by 60 seconds. Huh. I don't know what to do about that. Oh. Ooh, I know. I'll wait 60 seconds. Just kidding. Hmm. What'd she say? Wait, when? Right now? You can use me to jerk off like you usually do if you want. Suri-tan was such a nice girl. Oh my gosh. She was only truly my wife. I put my elbow on the table and rested my head in my hand, taking deep breaths as I stared at Suri-tan's smile. Phew! Felt so much better. Oh my. Well, she is an anime character, so at least there's that. An anime in the game. Wait, yes. You know what I always think is silly? Is like when you're watching an anime or reading a manga, and they're like, well, this isn't an anime. I'm like, yes, it is. Maybe I should read a little more if I took breaks to glance over at Suri-tan. I decided to give it a try. Why hadn't these two seemingly separate incidents been given the label New Generation Madness? Oh, why had these? Yes. The group dive was treated as just a suicide at first. But after the pregnant man case, the net started taking another look at the group dive and found how many strange elements there were to the case. Speculation began that it was actually a murder, not a suicide. Do you count cartoons as anime? I don't know, that's a hard one. I'd say, yeah. They're both animated, so... I guess nowadays, because, like, I think anime was, like, for stuff that was animated in Japan, and then, but now there's, like, a lot of, Japanese studios animating Western cartoons. So, I mean, like, I guess nowadays it's, like, a little blurred. So, yeah, I would count it as a cartoon. Or wait, as an anime. Wait. I think I said that right. Yes. The speculation began that it was actually a murder, not a suicide. Supposedly, the parents of the dead kids and their friends all said there was no way they could have killed themselves. Since both the cases were in Shibuya, a traditional center for young people. Wait. Yes. Yes. The news started calling it the madness created by the new generation of youth, and simply the new generation madness. The name stuck. And there was a third case, the crucified murder. They were calling it... Wait, hold on. I'm gonna take a drink of water, maybe. And there was the third case, the crucified murder. They were calling it... That was the one I'd seen. With my peepers. I saw it all with my peepers. Bloop, bloop. The agitator... Wait. Yes, the agitator site didn't have much information on the case because it was so new. The murdered man was Hisa Ota, a 56-year-old college professor. He'd been nailed with stakes to the concrete wall of an empty house. Starting at 8 p.m., the estimated time of the crime, neighbors heard what sounded like something hammering a nail. The sound lasted for approximately an hour. I'd heard that sound too. I could still hear it. It was an awful sound. For what it was worth, no connection had been found between it and the group dive or the pregnant man. But after 3 bizarre incidences in the same city of Shibuya, everyone naturally tried to crucify each other. Everyone naturally treated the crucified murder as a third part of the new generation madness. The media and politics were saying that all 3 were committed by different individuals, but the position, or rather hope, of most people online was that it was a single person or failing that a single group. Mm-hmm. There were some bizarre theories involving the occult going around too. And some people were saying New Gen got its start in the earthquake 2 months ago. 2 months ago, there'd been an intensely 3 oh my gosh. There had been an intensity 3 earthquake in Shibuya. An intensity 3 earthquake was small enough that you could be walking down the street and not feel it, but despite the small size of the earthquake, it had made the news because 8 people had died. Looking back, it was true that the new gen incidents had started after the earthquake. So the proponents of the occult were saying that the 8 deaths of the earthquake could be counted as the first new gen. Oh, excuse me, I hiccuped. Sometimes they get into arguments with more mainstream new gen theorists. No matter who was behind it, it was bizarre that 3 such incidents could happen without a single clue as to who was behind it. A lot of people online were eagerly awaiting a 4th incident too. Why are you waiting for it? Just kidding. If I wasn't directly involved, I might have been all WTK myself. Participating in the festival and eagerly awaiting a 4th incident too. Damn it. They were all having so much fun when I was feeling miserable. You know, I think feeling miserable is a pretty normal reaction. It'd been over a week since Crucified, and there'd been nothing from the demon girl or the police. If they knew I was there at a minimum, the police would have come to talk to me. Wait, at a minimum? Yes, at a minimum the police would have come to talk to me, but there was no sign of them. Phew! It looked like I was going to be able to stay out of this, to not get involved.
あなたには予知能力がありますか?
That always cheers you up. the murders? Yua's words flashed through my mind.
予知能力があるって思わなきゃ納得できないような画像データをあなたが持っていたから。
Yeah, you're right. I don't know how to explain the images either. Just when I was about to finally... Wait, okay, so, like, the images she's talking about was, like, a picture that I had gotten before. So, like... I mean, like, other people's misfortunes. Makes you feel better. So when you slip and fall into the ice... dunk their head. Like when someone gets hit in the head with a coconut? Oh wait, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So it was a picture of the event before it happened. Like, you could tell the future, but you can't, like, have, like, a picture of it. And it wasn't, like, a drawing. In the game, it wasn't a drawing. It was a picture. Yeah. Or a ball. A bowling ball? Or a bouncy ball. Just kidding. Oh, wait, maybe a bowling ball. Because it has the little It has the little 3 dots on it, like a coconut. So it will be even more funny. No. I don't think it would be even more funny. A coconut's lighter. I'd rather get hit in the head with a coconut than a bowling ball. Just when I was about to finally relax, I suddenly found myself with a coconut on my head. Oh wait, feeling awful again. The photos that Shogun had sent me were still stored on my computer, keeping them just in case. Everything Yua had said was just a figment of her own delusions. It was crazy. It wasn't even a real theory. Basketball in the face is always funny. Oh yeah! That happened to me one time, and the little dots on the basketball were on my cheek. And then everybody laughed at me. Oh! Yeah, it is funny. I hadn't been able to ask about it at the hospital, but there was no way I could have... It could have been someplace... Wait... There's no way I could have been someplace else while I was awake, doing something I didn't remember. It was impossible. It had never happened before, for one thing. These girl photos had to be fake.
だったらさ、合成だって証拠を見つけちゃえばいいさ。
Yes!
あの画像解析しちゃおうよ。
Nice, it happens to me all the time. I don't play anymore now, yeah? I only played basketball because I had to. Because it was like in like PE class when I was in school. Woo! Wait. Whoa. Oh! My cat scared me again. She's walking around. I was like, what is that, a ghost? But they're creepy and I don't really want to look at them.
あの女を論破しちゃえば、タッキーはもう怯えることなく平穏な生活に戻れるんだよ。
Yes!
やるしかないっしょ。
I gotta do it! Yeah! That's right! You seem convinced that I was the one behind Crucified, but that was impossible. I'd seen the person who'd actually done it. I couldn't let her blame me for the crime. I gulped and double-clicked to open the folder where my cache was stored. Cache? Chase. Wait. Yes. Whoa! Yujiban entered the big conference hall at the Shibuya police station for the first time in 3 days. The conference for what was being called the Yamacho crucifixion murder had already begun, and some of the officers were glaring at him for being late. Yeah. Cash. Oh, okay, cash. Ben forced a weak smile at them before sitting down, telling them he'd been in the toilet. In the toilet? Oh, he fell in. Oh my gosh, somebody did it! Somebody fell in! Cash Oh, okay, okay. Cash. Cash. Like money. Ben forced a weak smile at them before sitting down, telling them he'd been in the toilet. Throwing up didn't seem like it would suit the current mood of the room. Maybe. Could tell him. They'd assembled a task force to handle the Mariama crucifixion murder the morning after the incident. Between the Cornelis, yes, Cornelis Tower Group suicide and the Shibuya Station area man-baby murder cases, the police force was already stretched thin. I used to say it like Kasha. Oh yeah, because he's the E at the end. Kasha. Kasha! Kasha. So even Ben, a nobody lieutenant, a nobody lieutenant from Section 1 of Tokyo Metropolitan Police, had been sent in to help out the Shibuya Ward cops. Since all three cases had happened in the jurisdiction of the Shibuya police, there was now a highly unusual situation. 3 different special task force at a single station. Because of this, the team had to take turns scheduling their day in the big conference room. Since the media kept calling it the new generation madness, there was a rumor going around that they were going to resolve the shortage of officers by bringing all 3 together under a new gen special task force. All of the officers, though, it was a stupid idea, but it didn't mean it wouldn't happen. No, I won't give you my report. It's only for my eyes to see. Captain Masunga was Ban's boss and the leader of the task force. He glanced sharply at Ban. But Ban didn't notice. He took a deep breath while waving a paper fan at his face. Woo! There's AC in my car. Just kidding. It's the wrong game. No, I'm not listening.
呼ばれてるっすよ。バンさんの報告待ちなんすから。ちょっと。
Only when Ban's partner, a rookie detective named Suwa, whispered to him, did he realize he was being called on. Oh, Matsunaga. 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 Matsunaga, yeah. Ooh.
すんません。報告は諏訪から。
Ooh. Hold on, it says there's no data on YouTube. Uh-oh. Naga. Don't give the report. Yes, don't give the report.
自分っすか？
俺がいなくても報告しとけって言っ といたろうが。
But you are here.
早くしろ。
Oh, he disappeared. After a sharp elbow to his older partner, Sua sighed and stood up.
犯行現場近くの監視カメラの解析がようやく出たっす。出ました。犯行時間に不審な人物が映ってました。
What kinda suspicious. Murmurs broke out in the room. The air instantly became tense. The detectives from Shibuya police all began to scribble down notes, careful not to miss anything he said. They were desperate to solve this case. There'd been 2 brutal murders. The group dive was still classified as a suicide in the span of a single month in their district. There we go. They needed to catch the person responsible, and now, even if it meant dropping their usual stoic demeanor.
プロジェクターに映像を出します。
What image? Puts up the wrong picture. It's like, oh no, not that one. Sua put up an image on the projector screen, just like Ben had told him to do before they started. It showed a narrow, dirty black it showed a narrow, dirty back alley in Mariam Macho. It was night and there were few lights, so it was hard to see much of anything at all.
犯行現場から約50メートル離れたところにあるコインパーキングの監視カメラです。
Whoa. The parking lot was a tiny one with no more than 2 spaces. It was located on a tiny strip of land crammed between buildings. From here, you couldn't see the crime scene. You could barely see the road in front of it. It showed the road, a street away from the killing took place. There was no audio on it either. The footage had a timestamp in the bottom right. It read 21:34.
犯行現場近隣の住民の証言により、21時過ぎから21時半頃まで釘を打ちつける音がしていたというのはご承知の通りだと思いますが、
Wow.
この映像は21時34分。つまりまさに犯行時間直後ということになります。不審人物が映っているのは21時34分53秒からおよそ6秒間です。駐車場の前の道を奥から手前へと走り抜けていきます。
Running toward the camera. Wait, what are they looking at? Uh-oh, it was me. I was the one running. Just kidding. Just then, oh, look at him run! Just then, a person appeared on the screen. They were running toward the camera in a clearly disturbed manner. The camera's resolution was low. It was low enough that it was hard to immediately tell if the person was male or female, but Ben had already spoken to the science lab and had them analyze it. Well, what's the science lab gonna do to... You can't enhance a picture. Oh shit, that's me! Don't tell him! I'm with you! Yeah! Don't tell him! Ah! Get out of my head! They're in your head. Oh no! What? Ah! Oh, now I'm dizzy. The camera's resolution was low enough that it was hard to immediately tell if the person was male or female. Oh wait, I already read that. But like, what are they gonna...
科捜研で解析した結果、写っている人物は男。年齢は10代後半から20代とのことっす。です。
Okay, but like, so like, what... How would scientists be able to know if like the camera was like blurry enough that you couldn't tell? Like, I don't know why they brought scientists into it. Whoa, 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 whoa. This guy turns around and it's me. The lab says the individual is male, somewhere between his late teens to 20s.
人相の判別までは無理でした。服装がかなり特徴的ですが、これは小島にある私立水明学園の男子制服と分かりました。
Yes.
それと右手に注目してもらいたいんですが。
The image changed to a closer up of the person's hand. It was holding something.
スローで再生するとわかるが、走りながら腕を振っている際、この握りしめている何かが駐車場の照明に反射して光を放ってるんだな、これが。
It's a ghost. It's like watching ghost videos. When it was time to reveal the big discovery, Ben took over.
形状からして犯行に使われた十字架型の杭である可能性がある。
More murmurs from the detectives. What if they're not talking about like what's going on? They're just like talking about whatever. They're like, oh yeah, so for lunch today I had a turkey sandwich. It was delicious. Like, here's my chance to talk about whatever. The killer behind the crucified murders might be a teenager. That was a shock. Maybe the media's new generation madness was more than just a catchy slogan.
最も犯人に近い人物がこの少年だということか。
そういうことになりますね。
Yes, that is right. Ben stroked his unshaven chin. It was a habit of his. Whenever he got a step closer to finding a criminal, he'd run his fingers through the stubble and enjoyed his victory.
以上です。
Oh! Suicide and sat down.
ひどいっすよ先輩。
Maybe bath salts? For a bath? That was really mean. You took the best part. Ben ignored Sua's complaint and stared at the image of the teenage boy on the projector.
ようやく尻尾を出したんだ。そいつを掴んで離さねえようにしないとな。
Wait, how would it go to waste? They just forget about it. They're like, oh, let's go do something else. I found the image Shogun sent me in the cache folder. It was a JPEG numbered 164891. there was still a big part of me that didn't want to look at it. I mean, it was disgusting. If I looked at it, I was sure to remember the scene as it was in the real world. No, but if I was going to prove Yoa wrong, and prove my innocence, and that I was safe, I would need proof. Suritan was here to help me too. I could handle a little gore. I worked up my courage and double-clicked on the file to open it. Yeah, it was gory all right, but compared to what I'd seen in the real world, it wasn't that bad. Here, wait, it's telling me YouTube's not getting any data anymore. What's going on? I don't know what to do about that when it says there's no data. I guess just hope it comes back. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. And it was all fake too, right? I could handle it. The first time I'd looked at it, I'd only taken a quick glance before closing it. I hadn't looked at the whole image from top to bottom. This time I was able to take a closer look, even if I had to suppress the urge to vomit. I didn't know how to tell if the image was fake. Did you look at the direction of... Oh, wait. Did you look at the direction of the shadows? The background, things like that, and if anything was wrong? It seemed to me the most likely possibility was that they'd taken a photo of the valley first, and then added in the staked corpse later. And then, the day after Shogun sent this to me, they'd carried out the murder just like in the photo. Because of the darkness and the low resolution of the photo, I couldn't tell much about the body. Only the stakes were clearly visible. The light was forced on the area surrounding the corpse, as if that was the only thing they wanted the viewer to see. It felt like whoever had taken the picture had framed it like that deliberately. There was no way the light shining right on the body and now here and nowhere else was a coincidence. Or maybe it was a coincidence. I hadn't gotten a clear look at the scene when I was there for real. So I couldn't say for sure. Was that... Wait, when? There is... Oh, the guy that's staked up there? He was like, a professor? Some guy? Maybe this'll be a good spot. Or wait, no. There's stuff happening on the wall. Oh, yes, that's the, yeah, he was a professor at somewhere. I forget where. I forget if they said where he was a professor of. I think that's all we know about this guy, is that he was a professor and he died. Yeah. Or maybe it was a coincidence. I hadn't gotten a clear look at the scene when I was there for real, so I couldn't say for sure. The demon girl wasn't in the picture. But if you stared at the picture until you thought your eyes would bleed, you could make out what looked like a person in the darkness on the left edge. On the left edge. Oh, excuse me. Wait, which way's left? Left. Is it my left or the computer's left? The computer. I'm sure they'll show us. I almost missed it. Between the low resolution and how they were standing in shadows, they were almost impossible to spot. On my first glance, I missed them completely. This was a... Nope, to see it? Yeah. Maybe they'll show us. Maybe they'll brighten the image a little. What am I doing with that? I'll put it back there. I'll put you guys back there. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Uh-oh, it was me. Again? I'm just kidding. This was a doctored photo, or it should have been. So maybe the person who took it let themselves get photographed by accident and forgot to delete it when they added in the corpse. The thing keeps telling me that YouTube's not getting any data. How is it? Oh, now it says, okay. It keeps doing that. I'll have to look up how to fix that later. They were wearing a Suzumi uniform. It must have been that demon girl. Then she wore one too. But the person in the photo seemed to have short hair. You good? Oh, it's good? Okay. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad things aren't, messing up on your side. The demon girl had long hair, so did Yua. I decided to use the image processing software to make it easier to see. I booted up the software and dragged the image on top of it. Then I gulped before going to the level adjustment slider in the menu. My text does take a minute to be sent. Oh yeah. I wonder if there's a way to fix that. I'm gonna look that up later. So that it could be better. I made the photo brighter and... Uh-oh! Huh? Huh? What was this? The person in the photo... the person in the photo, without question... Why me? This made no sense. I'd never been there until September 29th. This was fake, too. It had to be. I couldn't find any evidence of it at all, but it was definitely fake. It had to be. I swear I don't see that man. Yeah. Shogun had sent it to me on the 28th, and the Kurosawa killing happened on the 29th. If this photo showed what happened on the 29th, it would be a photo of the future.
あなたには予知能力がありますか？
I guess. Oh, yeah, I guess you would see the future if you see a picture of the future.
うるさい、そんなはずはないんだ。
I kicked an empty plastic bottle at my feet and shut down the image program. I opened up the properties menu to see when the JPEG file was created, and then I gasped. It had been created on the 28th, but that didn't matter now. There was something written on the comments section of the properties window. That's what my eyes were glued on. I was running from my GF who had a frying pan. Like in Entangled? Yes. Wait, like just now, like while watching the stream, you picked it up and was like, "Ooh, gotta go." Just kidding. There's something written in the comments section of the properties window that's what my eyes were glued to. I slammed my fingers down on the keyboard before pushing it to the side of the desk and cradling my head in my hands.
セーラ助けて。
I tried to stop myself from crying. What the hell had been going on this whole week? Why was all this happening to me? Wait a second. See, Shogun had gotten a photo of me from somewhere and used it to put me in the girl photo. That would mean they'd either taken the photo of me themselves well before the murder, or gotten a photo of me from some other place. Given that they'd come into the chat room out of nowhere and started talking as soon as Grim left, they were after me from the start. Maybe Shogun knew who I was then. If he did, there was no telling when he or the demon girl would attack the base, and then they kidnap me. I felt the pricking on the back of my neck. That gaze again. I was being watched by someone. Don't look at me. I refused to look behind me. Time for the "I'm not turning around so easily" game. I was shaking with terror. I wanted to go check the lock on the door, but if I looked around, I'd lose. I stubbornly stared at the monitor instead. To calm myself, I opened up a word processor program and typed the thoughts that came to me. Shy guy. Someone breaks in your house. Oh no, I'm too shy. And someone breaks in your house. Give me all your money. And you go, oh no, I can't do that. I'm too shy. and then they go, oh, okay. And then they'll leave. Maybe. In a perfect world, that would happen. Wait, would that be a perfect world? It's a kinda perfect world. Demon
そう
girl.
に決まってる。
Yeah, that has to be it. Demon girl equal murder. Can see the future. Shogun equal working for the demon girl. Yua equal working for Shogun. Never heard of a shy guy. From... Oh! No. I think... I don't know many SCPs. I know the... I know the one that's like a statue that you have to look at it all the time. And I also know the... I also don't know what any of them are called. What's the other one I know? Oh, the other one I know is like, you don't recognize the bodies in the water. As I started quivering at the word demon, I started to wonder if the girl I'd seen at the murder scene really was one. Yeah, she wasn't human. That had to be it. Maybe that's why she was able to see the future. Her demon powers would let her create a photo of what was going to happen. SCP-173? I don't know that one. I would like to get more into SCPs, but you know what? I don't know what's stopping me. Why not do this? Why not? What? How do I word this? Why not I go look at SCPs later? Yes, I think I said that right. Yeah. That would explain how she could do that terrible crucified murder all by herself, too. Yeah, in a concrete wall, nonetheless. Or no, not nonetheless. And Shogun worked for her. They knew I was going to witness the crime by accident, so they sent me the image in advance. I didn't know why. Maybe it was a threat. If you tell anyone, this is what will happen to you next. Uh-oh. Or maybe... Lots of good stories? Yeah. Yeah, they are very interesting. Oh? Everything from cute to absolute terror. Ooh, really? I thought they were all scary. Well, that's fun that there's cute ones. The death sentence... A death sentence telling me that I'd be next if that was the case.
勝てるわけがない。僕は奴らにいつ殺されてもおかしくないんだ。
I guess they could. If that's how you're gonna talk. Well, whose room is this? I'm gonna take a drink of water real quick. SCP-999 is the cutest? Yeah. Okay, I'll look him up. I'll look at him. I'll look at him. If he's cute, I'll look. Whoop. SCP-999. Oh, yeah, he is cute. He's a little orange guy. Aw. Just a little guy. Yuna Kosaki? Kosonoki was staring at the computer in her room. She had a serious look on her face, and she was quickly reading through the information on her screen. Eventually, she let out a small sigh and took her hand off the mouse before looking over at the piece of paper in front of her. It was a print of the chat-log between Shogun and Nightheart, the same as the one she'd shown Takumi Nishijo yesterday.
西条くん
Whoa, that was all yesterday. She whispered his name. Images of him sitting alone on the beach in Shoto Park came back to her. She shook her head as trying if to drive them away. As if to drive them away. And then suddenly she gasped and turned around.
今誰かに見られていたような
Her own gaze was locked on the big Gero frog plush that lay on her bed. It must have been her imagination. She decided. She stood up, walked over to the bed, and fell onto it face first. The sheets smelled like a sunny day. Her mom must have dried them outside this afternoon. As she buried her face in the pleasant scent, she looked around the room. Her room was kept neat and clean, a sign of her slightly obsessive personality. The largest object in her room was a huge bookshelf packed tight from corner to corner with books. But what made it kind of cute was the bottom was stuffed with complicated technical and computer books, but the top was filled with shoujo manga and anime DVDs. She let out another sigh and looked up at the ceiling.
DID
Dissociative identity disorder. She whispered the name of the mental health condition she'd been researching. She had an explanation of it pulled up on the monitor.
辛いんですね
She gave the stuffed Gero frog on her lap a tight squeeze and thought about Takumi.
でも私
And then her expression went blank. She gritted her teeth hard. And then ended up in my room somehow. Just kidding. It hurt to breathe. All I was doing was looking up some stuff on the computer, but I could feel my heart pounding far faster than normal. This sensation that something was watching me just wouldn't go away. I was still restraining the urge to turn around, but I wouldn't be able to do it much longer. Yeah. I yelled at the something was watching. Was the something the demon girl? No way, right? What a transition, I know, right? She was watching me with some kind of demonic psychic power, like clairvoyance. Oh. The prickling in my neck only got more intense. It was turning into a sensation like a faint electric shock. I was starting to sweat hard. My t-shirt was soaked. Finally, I gave in and turned around, but all I saw was my room. Nothing unusual at all. Yeah, who are you? I let out a scream, then stood up to make sure the door was locked. When I saw that it was, I felt a little better. I wiped the sweat off my brow with the bottom of my shirt. Wow! Then I went back to my PC and stared at the monitor again. I'd been reading up about how physics could supposedly see the future. Wait, psychics. That makes more sense. Psychics could supposedly see the future? When I was a kid, I was absolutely sure that powers like that existed. To be honest, I still kind of believe it. That was the reason I immediately thought that the image the demon girl and Shogun sent was from the future, and why I'd felt I had to look it up. Maybe there was a psychic who could see the future everywhere, and I just didn't know it. I'd done something kind of similar when I was a kid with the bus accident, so I couldn't be sure if it was. I couldn't be sure it was impossible, right? But the more I looked into it, though, the more it all seemed like a bunch of bullshit. Either occult stuff or magic tricks. There wasn't any scientific proof that they existed, but there was no proof that they didn't exist either. Ah! You scared?
一つぐらいあってもいいだろ。
I got even more annoyed and slammed my fingers down on the keys. The fact that everything was so vague made me feel scared and uneasy. I was supposed to just keep waiting, spending every day in fear of a demon who might not ever come. My mind couldn't handle that. Of course, what I wanted was proof that it was impossible to see the future, but either way, I wanted a solid answer. My last hope was at Chan's occult board. That place was filled with useless trash, lies, and fakes, but sometimes there was amazing info just lying there. I opened my page for at channel, trying to stay calm. I went to the occult board and ran a search for future sight. And then... there was a surprising number of hits, about 30 actually. Was it a popular topic on @chan these days? I gulped and looked at the threads one by one.
ファンタズム FES?
Most of the threads contained the terms phantasm or FES. I also saw the term new gen a lot, and there was something about prophetic lyrics and murders too. I searched and found out that Phantasm was a 4-person goth punk band based in Shibuya. They were popular on the indie music scene, and their female vocalists used the stage name FES. I decided to see what the band had to do with seeing the future. The top thread was titled Prophecy/Future future site. Phantasm General, New Gen 43. I decided to read it. What you need to do is get your ass to Sunday's concert, experience every moment of FES is black mass. Otherwise, you'll get crucified yourself. LOL. Oh wait, oh. Should I be reading all these? You guys are... Oh wait. I like FES's lyrics. They're so new gen. You guys are talking about FES and ignoring Rio, the composer, poor guy. FES 10? Pant pant. Your lyrics taught me the meaning of life. You FES believers are weird. Good point. You know what I'd like, though, is that FES calls me a dirty pig in that cold, quiet voice of hers while she digs her boot heels into... Okay. Alright. Into my ass. It makes me feel so much pain. My eyes pop out of my head. I want to get off while she spits in my face and slits my throat with a knife and tells me I don't deserve to live. Oh. FES 10 is my wife. There's a special thread for you freaks. Also, FES is my wife. Don't dump this thread, shitface. This what you meant by new gen prophecy? Followers guided... crazy! Wow! Ooh, crazy! Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh wait, followed by guided by the light of the moon, a path of illusions that threads to this place. The shots soon... Oh wait, hold on. The shots soon turn to silence, feeling peace as you fall. Two hands clasping in the wind. I'm anti-phantasm. Anti-phantasm, by the way. Their fans are scary, lol. It's just like they're all brainwashed or something. Her fans are gonna murder you in your sleep, dumbass, lol. Don't share the lyrics, idiot. Read the room. The lyrics were... Well, you could interpret them as... Oh, wait, I moved in front of the words. You can refer to them as the group dive depending on how you look at it. And the lyrics had been published 2 months ago. In other words, they weren't written after the group dive.
これが予知ってこと？
Wasn't it just a coincidence? Or was Phantasm working with the Demon Girl too? I read more of the log, found that all 3 of the new gen cases had been prophesized by the lyrics. Achen didn't have lyrics for the pregnant man and crucified cases, though. There seemed to be some kind of thing where you weren't supposed to upload them on the internet. If you really wanted to know what they were, you had to go to a concert and buy the album. Either way, there was a number of discussion online trying to predict the outcome of the next new gen murder based on Phantasm's lyrics. Their album, published on an indie label, had been selling extremely well after the new gen instant started. Some observers in the media had noticed, and And Phantasm now appeared sometimes in articles about the cult hit with the Shibuya youth. FES was the one who wrote the lyrics, and you pronounced it like the first half of festival. Supposedly her name wasn't known. Maybe she was the demon girl. If she was, then what would explain how she was able to predict the murder months in advance? She was the one who carried them out, after all. I did an image search, but couldn't find a picture of her face. All the photos from her concerts were taken with a crappy cell phone camera. They were too blurry to get a good look at her. Yeah, dang it! I wiped the sweat from my brow with my t-shirt again. Frustration, fear, a desire to believe nothing, a desire to see nothing. All these feelings came together and made it hard to breathe. I was still panting. I needed to see FES's face. With trembling hands on the keyboard, I went to Phantasm's official site. It was a simple design with a black background. The front was blood red crimson with a terrifying, ominous feel to it. The site itself had very little in the way of information, just a simple concert to schedule and discovery. Sweaty nerd, yeah! Why are you so sweaty? Where did you run a mile? Just kidding. There was no profiles of the band members and no lyrics.
やっぱり犯人だけあってネットに顔写真が流出しないようにしてるのか。
Possibly. She was clever. A look at their schedule showed me that they seemed to do concerts every 2 weeks. The next one was...
あさって。
Oh. If I went, I would be able to see if FES was the demon girl. But what good would that do? Was I going to turn her over to the police? Beg her to leave me alone? Could I take a cross and try to exorcise her? Nerds running. Maybe they could run if... Oh my gosh! I saw a video of a guy playing a FPS game, and he was running on a treadmill, and he was like really good at it while also running on a treadmill. I thought that was funny. Not a chance. I couldn't do any of those things. She was a demon. A creepy otaku like me couldn't beat her. Yeah. And if I lost, I would never die. Oh wait, no, I would die. If I lost, I would die. My corpse would become another disgusting piece of art, and photos of it would be uploaded to a new gen agitator site.
そんなのやだ。
No, but if I didn't go, I wouldn't know why I was in the image that Shogun sent me. Like a treadmill challenge? Oh, maybe. What if we lived in a world like that? Everyone running on treadmills everywhere, instead of going on walks on a treadmill outside. And maybe if FES wasn't working with the demon girl, I could ask her for help.
だけどやっぱり無理だ。ライブなんて行けるわけがない。
I'd never been to one in my entire life. Yeah, me too. Especially in a concert hall that was cramped and dark and loud and filled with people. Just imagine if imagine it made me want to go vomit. I didn't know what to do. The prickling on my neck was still there. It had gone from a tingling numbness to a burning pain, and when I looked behind me, of course nobody was there.
もうやめてよ。
I closed my eyes and waited for the gaze to go away. I refused to have the sensation following me for the rest of my life. Someday I might get strong enough to actually... it might get strong enough to actually kill me.
考えろ、匠。
Think.
僕にできることを考えろ。
Oh. I was like, the end. I hid myself behind a lamppost and stared at the club called Gigant? Yeah. In the end, I'd spent the whole day thinking and worrying about it before finally deciding to go. Gigant was in a distinctive red brick building near the Shibuya train tracks. Its exterior was lit up in a way that made it feel old, like something that would have been popular in the 70s or 80s. I had no idea that there was still a place like this in Shibuya. It was just 5 minutes from the station, but there were barely any people around. Sometimes I could hear a train passing above. Vibrations from the loud noise would shake the lamppost I was hiding behind. Until a moment ago, there had been a lot of people out front wearing outfits that could easily be mistaken for cosplay. Well, maybe not a lot of them. It was surprising how relatively few of them they were. For all that talk on the internet about phantasm, there were probably only 100 or so people here. They were all inside now. The concert had started. The sound didn't reach the outside, though, so it was still dead quiet. The nervous sensation in my heart had started yesterday and only gotten worse when I arrived here. It hurt so much to breathe that I was beginning to wonder if it had some kind of heart disease. And no, the reason wasn't much simpler than that. It was dark around here. The demon girl or her servants could be lurking anywhere. I was desperately scanning the area around me, looking for anyone who might be around to jump me. Being there made me feel as tense as being in the Wands volcano labyrinth in Iso. The Wands volcano labyrinth was full of overpowered enemies, and the area itself was filled with lava. The slightest touch of lava meant instant death. How many times had I died in that zone? I wiped the sweat off my forehead with a hand towel and gulped. The door at the top of the stairs to Gigant opened, and for a moment I could hear the sound of drums being violently pounded on. A boy came out the door. He ran down the stairs and over to me. Oh, hey! I know this guy. I was the one who'd invited him to the concert. I didn't know his cell number, so I'd been forced to go to school that day and talk to him. I didn't think I could have gotten to Gigant's without him. And even if I had, if the demon girl was inside, it would be game over the minute I opened the door. That's why I'd enlisted him as a scout. It felt like I was using him, and I did feel a little guilty. Not that I said anything to him about it, of course. The only ones I could ask were him and Nanami. I opted for the one who'd be less obnoxious, which meant Mizumi. I would pay for his ticket. In other words, I'd be basically hiring him for 1,000 yen.
ほらよ、これ CD な。俺自分の分も買っちまったよ。
Gigantus. Gigantus. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, Gigantus. He handed me a copy of Phantasm's album. They were going for a huge premiere online, but I'd read on 8chan that you could only buy one at a concert. So I decided to have Mizumi get one for me. Now half my goal was accomplished. The other half was...
いやー、予想以上にいいな、ファンタズムって。
He just left the concert hall and seemed a little excited.
俺、あんまミーハーになりたくなかったんで聞こうとしなかったんだけどよ。今日ちょっと生で聞いただけでファンになっちまった。
Oh, yeah. The other thing I'd asked him to do was describe the band's members for me. They'd all come out as soon as the concert began, so all he'd need to do was take a quick look and report back to me. But I hadn't seen him for 5 whole minutes after the concert had started. It seemed like the reason for that was him deciding to listen to their first song.
特にボーカル。ありゃマジでいい女だぜ。お前、女見る目あるな。
Oh, thank you. Sigh. Yeah, Mizumi was only ever going to think about things with his little head. So much for not liking what's popular.
どんな人だった？
ああ、そっか。報告な。なんか探偵みてえで面白いな。そう思わねえ？
He grinned and began to describe FES to me.
髪型はショートカットだった。
Ooh, cute! That didn't match the demon girl at all. Did that mean FES wasn't the demon girl then? No, wait. It was too soon to be sure. You could always cut your hair or add extensions if you wanted. She might have been in disguise when I'd run into her at the murder scene.
スタイルがすっげえ良くて、あと背が高かったな。ありゃ俺と同じぐらいはあるんじゃねえの？
And how tall are you? About Mizumi's height. Mizumi's height wasn't much different from mine, so FES was about 170 centimeters tall. Pretty tall for a girl. But when I'd run into the demon girl, she hadn't seemed especially tall to me. My memories weren't really that clear, but she seemed to be shorter than I was. Another thing that didn't match.
他には？
そうだな。アンニュイな雰囲気してたな。
And you?
声はクールってイメージかな。結構ボソボソと喋るタイプだった。
Ooh.
胸のサイズはまあまあ。でもゴスパンの服は妙な色気があったぜ。ああいうのもありだな。断然あり。
It was no good. Just hearing someone else describe her wasn't going to be good enough. I'd only gotten a quick glance at the demon girl anyway. I don't think I could have described her even if you asked me to. Maybe this whole plan was a waste of time.
いうかよ、そんなにフェスに興味あるなら自分の目で見ればいいじゃねえか。ほら、行こうぜ。
Yeah. Mizumi pushed me up the stairs of Gigantus. I tried to resist, but he was stronger than me, and I couldn't escape.
見たいんだろ、フェスの顔を。素直になるって。浮気ってのは男の差がだよな。たくも大人になったもんだぜ。
I bet FES is wearing those 6-inch high boots. Ooh, maybe. That'd be cool. Wait, 6... That's half a foot. Cheating is what makes you a real man. I'm glad you've finally grown up, Taku.
この前一緒に帰ってたメガネの子のことは今夜だけは気にすんなって。俺も田中のことは忘れるからよ。
What was he talking about? I tried to resist, but I realized that it was too late. We were already at the top of the stairs. It was only a single floor off the ground, but if I struggled here and slipped, a fall would hurt bad. The thought made me stop struggling. When I stopped resisting, Mizumi shoved me through the door and into the concert hall. Whoa! When I went inside, my ears were assaulted with a wave of sound. I'd never experienced anything this loud. I could feel it shaking at the bottom of my stomach, and the vibrations felt like they threatened to tear me apart. There weren't any seats. Everyone was standing. The audience rocked their bodies in time with the rhythm, and I could hear cries of FES, FES in time with the music. Their movements weren't as coordinated as the otagai you saw at idol concerts, but they were still really impressive. The intensity was indescribable. It felt like I was about to throw up from the heat of so many bodies. I was an otaku, but not an idol or voice actress otaku, so to be honest, I didn't like concerts like this. The one saving grace was that nobody was looking at me, but I couldn't deny that I was terribly out of place here. There were so many people that I couldn't get a clear look at the stage. The most I can make out were the silhouettes of 4 people standing under the bright stage lights. As I stood there overwhelmed, Nizumi handed me a plastic cup with some soda in it. He must have paid for my ticket. I'd have to pay him back later. Whoa! And then the song ended. A wave of cheers and applause went up from the audience. Finally, everyone lowered their raised fists. I had a clear view of the stage. I could get a clear look at the short-haired girl up there. She definitely wasn't the demon girl. Let's see her. Ooh!
今日はいつもより調子いいわ。声がクリアに聞こえる。世界がとても澄んでいる。
She's pretty. Her voice picked up and amplified, and coming through the speakers was nothing like the demon girl's either. FES had, as Mizumi said, a sense of he knew about her. Or any, wait. She didn't seem boyish despite her short hair. She had a strange aura that was simultaneously cute and seductive, but also aloof. The accessories on her body reflected the lights and gleamed silver, giving her a strange, unearthly look like something from a fairy tale. I could understand why she was so popular on 8chan. You'd expect a singer like her to be loud and passionate, or so I assumed, but FES was calm and as she spoke into the mic. She's a witch. She's a pretty witch. It was the complete opposite of the excitement of the crowd. Maybe that was just her personality. But the audience knew better than to shout over her. There was silence as she spoke, and everyone listened.
呼吸突性の門が閉じているからかもしれない。
Cop. What did she say? Coptus? Oh, what language was that?
世界の均衡は大いなる意志が生まれてから数千年間保たれていた。でも今それは崩れつつある。とても不安定。
Whoa.
だから私は歌うわ。君たちのカオスを受け入れてあげる。
She said chaos. Oh, now I understood. She was speaking in character. It was a goth punk thing. Maybe she was trying to say stuff that sounded ominous, even if you didn't know what it meant. It would make her seem kind of mystical and help her connect better with her fans. In fact, FES was holding something strange in her hand. In her left hand was a normal mic, but in her right was a strange mic stand that looked something like a sword? It had a strange form with flowing curves that felt alien and dangerous, and it looked so sharp that even touching it might threaten to sever a finger. It was huge, just as big as she was. The glass embedded in the stand glowed with a strange pale light. I wasn't sure if it was even a mic stand, but it was the perfect prop to help define her character. I found myself strangely unable to take my eyes off of it. FES raised the huge mic stand over her head. And with an underhand grip, she swung it with an arc in front of her. The pale light of the glass made a half circle in the air. That was really dangerous. What if it hit someone? Maybe it wasn't a mic stand, but a sword. Well, if it looks like a sword, it's probably a sword. And maybe, like, she would cut off a head of a member of the audience each night in order to offer up their still warm blood to the demon girl. That would make the whole concert a black mass led by witches. By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. I began to shiver. Maybe it would be better to just leave now.
次は3曲目。密教の首飾り。
Ooh, are they gonna play the song? I think after the song, it's gonna be the end of the stream. I am very tired. I think this is my longest stream so far. 3 hours! Whoa! Another huge cheer went up from the audience. Oh, the members of the band all began to move at once, and a flood of sound hit my ears again. It felt like it was going to destroy my eardrums. How did they all keep from going deaf? You sound like a grandpa, I'm gonna say. With little old me? Wait, what? I looked at my side, and Mizumi was having a great time raising his fists to the rhythm along with the rest of the audience. The intro ended and FES began to sing. The lyrics made me freeze. Oh no, the music stopped. Oh. This was the prophetic song that I'd seen on Atchan. It was a dark song without a glimmer of hope to be found in it. Maybe it was particularly the lyrics too, but the melody felt almost religious. As the song progressed, the crowd's cheers faded, and before long they were silent. Yeah, me too. I gotta get up super early tomorrow. Yeah. Like 3 in the morning. All of them were listening intensely. However, some of them even seemed to be gazing at FES in a kind of aestheticity. There was a certain something in her voice that drew you to her, even as I fought against my fear of the crowd and the urge to vomit. I was listening to make sure I heard her sing. Like 4:30 in the morning? Whoa! That's really early. Somehow the temperature to beat this heat I'll like wake up before the sun comes up so you could be chilly. It is pretty hot. It's been in the hundreds where I'm at. 100 Fahrenheit, I should say. Somehow the temperature of the room seemed to drop below freezing in an instant. I like the cold. I like when it's cold. I like the snow. When it's snowing, I like to sit out in the snow. The song ended. Okay. I'm gonna save this. We'll pick it up next time. 100 degrees all week. Yeah. Oh my gosh. America. I'm gonna save it right here. I hate when it's hot. I can't wait for winter. We're going return to title. Yes. Oh. Well, thank you for coming and watching, and thank you for chatting along. I appreciate it. Good night. Hope to catch you next time. Yeah. I am working on, I'm doing my best to do a schedule. I'm doing a schedule, like, behind the scenes to see if I could do it on time. But hopefully soon I'll be able to do one. A schedule. Okay, yeah. Good night. Bye-bye. See ya.